So the glory of God, I can speak about it in the simple terms of every time you see the cherubs. If you see the cherubims, the angelic beings that have the four wings, they have four wings, okay? Every time you see these beings, the glory is mentioned somewhere. So they are the glory carriers, like they carry the glory of God. In the book of Psalms, it talks about God riding between the cherubs. They are the ones that carry the glory, and the seraphims are the ones that preserve the holiness. Like they are the ones that are tied to the holiness of God. So seraphims, the angelic beings that have six wings, they're tied to the holiness of God, and they cry holy, 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 right? But the cherubims, they are tied to the glory of God. Every time you see them in the scriptures, you're going to see something or some way, a mentioning of the glory of God, right? So Hebrews 9 talks about, it's doing a comparison of the earthly sanctuary, like the temple on earth that was made by Moses, instructed by God. And then it compares it to the heavenly sanctuary. And then it also tells you the limitations of the earthly sanctuary and the need for bulls and goats to be slaughtered. And then it goes on to say that now we have a high priest whose blood gained power at his death. Verse 16. But what I want to actually point out here, this chapter is so good. It's amazing. I recommend you read Hebrews 9. But I just want to mention verse 5 for the purpose of the glory of God. Verse 5 says this, and above it, well, let me read from verse 4. Verse 4 says this, which had the golden censer, the ark of the covenant, overlaid by all sides of gold, in which were the golden pot that had the manna, Aaron's rod that budded, and the tablets of the covenants. And above it, this is your scripture for focal point, were the cherub of glory, overshadowing the mercy seat. Of these things we cannot now speak in detail. So in the old covenant, they had a holiest of all, and in the holiest of all there was the ark of the covenant that was overshadowed by the cherubs who were overshadowing the mercy seat. Okay, so every time you see cherubim, think of the glory of God, think of the presence of God. Now for me personally, the way it kind of clicked for me is that in the book of Ephesians chapter 6 verse 11, it talks about the spiritual armor of God. The spiritual armor of God is, the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the sword of the spirit, the shield of faith, the belt of truth, the shoes shown for the gospel of peace, right? And I was just meditating on the fact that you cannot run away from your assigned battles. You could not run away from your assigned battles. And because if you look at the spiritual armor of God, in the back, there is nothing covering your back. You have no covering in the back. But the way I gained solace, the way I gained solace knowing that my back is uncovered, is that the glory of God is my rear guard. Like his glory guards me from behind. That is beautiful. That is magnificent, because just imagine you're in a battle and you have all your things. You're armored up spiritually. You're armored up, and you decide to run, or you decide to question yourself, like, wait, what if the enemy comes in from behind me? What if the enemy attacks me from behind? God's presence is there. So the glory of God is God's presence. God's presence is there. He will guard you from behind. And so that was what helped me just, calm down, because I was like, wait, the back is not covered, and I know we're supposed to stand. Above all, stand, and do what you're gonna do, right? But knowing that God's presence is my rear guard is absolutely soothing. Like, it soothes me. It's like, wow, you are backing me up. So yeah, the glory of God is the presence of God, and it backs you up in the back. So when you put on your spiritual armor of God, you go to war, especially in a fast. When you are fasting, it's like the spiritual battles are heightened because now you are truly engaged in the spiritual realm. You're praying every 3 hours. You are more intentional with your time. You are in tongues. You are in prayer. You are in worship. You are in praise, and that would cause a ripple effect in the spiritual realm. It would cause kind of like a response from the enemy's camp. But knowing that in the back God guards you, like his presence guards you, is absolutely monumental, and I'm so grateful for that. But yeah, the glory of God is the presence of God.